Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Lee from Media Solutions Center at Samsung Electronics, who's responsible for SDK platform and an SDK, which, as you can see, is the main topic of today's talk. First of all, thank you very much for being with us today. Samsung really appreciates your interest in SDK. I'm also personally very excited to show this subject in great detail. Today's talk is about Samsung's first open mobile healthcare platform, which is SDK. Here's the outline of the talk today. I'll start with an overview with SDK, introducing the trends of mobile health care platform and newest version of SDK. And I'll talk to you through SDK and platform. And we're going to have some powerful use cases and developers' benefits based on our SDK. And we're going to have a demonstration section by one of the SDK partners company, which will last about 10 minutes. And I'm going to finish up today's session with some closing remarks. Let's talk about the growing mobile healthcare industry. The consumers' demand of mobile healthcare application is rapidly increasing, rising up to 500 million users by 2015. Improvement of technology and usability has democratized healthcare service so that it's not only healthcare professionals, but also general consumers can utilize it very easily. And more than half of world's mobile healthcare platform app users, currently 57% so far, have been diversified from healthcare professionals to connected individuals thanks to the mobile healthcare industry. Here's the interesting fact about top categories for mobile healthcare app download. You can see the two distinct categories, which are weight loss and management application category, and second one is exercise and fitness logging application category. The interest in those categories shows us that people are very interested in general wellness area and preventive behavior area, such as how to eat healthier and how to exercise regularly, other than just serious medical areas such as disease treatment or surgeries. Therefore, Samsung will initially focus on those categories, which is wellness and preventive behavior area, among those four categories of healthcare industry. Samsung will build up the healthcare ecosystem based on open health platform, bringing consumers and application and sensor device developers and healthcare service providers and medical business stakeholders together. Here's the newest version of SDK service for Galaxy S5. The newest version of SDK, which is 3.0 version of SDK, which is the #1 USP for Galaxy S5. Here are three major key concepts of new SDK service. One is the SDK platform-based data sharing. And second one is various sensor accessibility based on the platform using a standard interface. And lastly, versatile data accessibility based on the cloud platform. Okay, here was the overview of asset health, and let's jump right into the main topic, which is asset health SDK and platform. Let's see how newest version of asset health works with Galaxy S5. You can see the asset health platform at the middle for the client side and server side. So Galaxy S5 can communicate with the server side with a variety of personal health record data. Asset health service takes the input from the external sensor device, such as treadmill and electronic scale and smartwatch, etc., via standard interface, such as N+. Also, it is utilizing this internal sensor hub, which is very famous for Samsung's low power technology and sophisticated sensor engine, can be taken to the Galaxy S5 for the asset health service. Also, it can take the manual inputs as well. The data comes from the client side, will be automatically synchronized to the server outside, which is personal health record, server, and database, which can be connected to the big data analysis. And for partners, we can have a B2C and B2B interface for the partners' new business area, such as medical facility or pharmacy company or healthcare service providers. Let's see how our SDK is placed on the SDK platform. We have two different kinds of SDK. One is a client SDK, and second one is service SDK for the server side. Let's see more details on the SDK side. Here's an SDK overview for client SDK and service SDK. As I told you on the previous slide, client SDK takes the input from the external server sensor device, such as electronic scales or treadmill, using a standard interface like an N+, and SHAP, which one is a proprietary version of Samsung's interface. Along with the manual inputs, can be managed by content manager and will be stored in the local DB in a secure manner. And the data will be transmitted to the PHR server outside in a secure manner as well. And for the server side, it has a full accessibility to the open API server, which contains 72 different APIs. Personal health record data contains 4 different categories of data types: biological data, and exercise fitness logging data, and food intake data, and other categories such as sleep and stress. Also, for the server side, service level support can be available, such as food search and big data analysis. Let's see how data flows in the architecture. As you can see, on the left-hand side, you're going to see the Galaxy S5, including third-party app with the Health SDK and Health platform for the client side. At the middle, we have a server-side Health platform, which contains open API server with 4 different data manager types. And it is connected to the personal health record database outside for the 4 different data categories with the user's profile data and statistical data as well. We have 2 different inputs from outside. One is a manual input and sensor inputs. For the sensor inputs, as I told you from the previous slide, we provide standard interface for the external sensor device, such as N+, which can come to the sensor API interface and sensor manager, and will be stored to the local DB very securely. For the internal sensors, take the same route as external sensor data. Also, manual input can be managed by content API interface and content manager, and also will be stored in the local database. All the data in the local database are automatically synchronized to the SHealth server platform, which is Open API server, with the 72 different APIs. With 4 different kinds of data managers. One is a biological data and food intake data, and exercise fitness logging data, and sleep and stress data as well. And personalized personal health record database contains large amount of data types, which has 4 different kinds of data, along with user's profile data and statistical data as well. I'd like to introduce the data types we are handling in the SHealth SDK. We have 4 different categories for data types. One is exercise, and biological data, and food intake, and sleep and stress. Exercise data category contains 8 kinds of data types, and biological data captures 7 different kinds of biological data types, and food intake includes 5 different data types, and other section has a sleep and stress data. You can see the green blocks in here. Those blocks, those data types are not available right now because it's kind of sensitive and private data. So it will be available for the near future after we get an approval by authorized organization. I'd like to talk about a very powerful feature of activity recognition library. Along with the SHealth SDK, the last year announced Motion SDK has been upgraded with a powerful feature as activity recognition. It can tell us what kind of activity you are engaged in, such as being stationary, and walking, and running, and in a vehicle. So third-party developers easily utilize this kind of a library throughout SHealth SDK. I'd like to introduce more powerful use cases when using our SHealth SDK. The first use case is about client side of SDK. You can utilize the standard interface for the external sensor device, such as treadmill, some like a fitness facilities, using N+. So the data can come from the external sensor device. Also, the app can take the activity status from the users, utilizing the activity monitoring recognition library. After analyzing the data from the sensors or internal sensor hub, such as activity recognition library, app can improve their algorithms for suggestion or recommendation or encouraging users for healthier life. So for example, activity recognition module senses users' lack of exercise. And then it just nudges the users for more exercise. This kind of user scenario can be applied to various kinds of applications, such as biological logging application or food or diet-related application also. Here's the second user case for server-side SDK. Various kinds of applications can store their data into the personal health record database in the cloud. For example, exercise logging application can take out the data which was made by diet-related application, such as currently weight gained or overly taken food information, something like that. Then after analyze the user's behavior, the exercise fitness logging application can give users recommendation that you need to cut down the sugars and do more exercise. So what I told you, third-party application developers can utilize the data exchange among other application developers. I'd like to talk about some developers' benefit when using SRS SDK. First one is about enabling seamless data exchange for users of our service. So various kinds of application can utilize the data, not only the data which was taken by their applications, but also the data which were taken from other applications. Those kind of personal health record data can provide unique instinct for personalized health key metrics. And also, utilizing those kind of analytic engines improved from the big data exchange can give users more recommendation or suggestion or encouraging for their healthier lives. Here's the second benefit and very interesting benefit for third-party app developers. The newest version of SRS service on the Galaxy S5, I pressed too early. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Newest version of SRS service on the Galaxy S5, which has a room for health dedicated page of Storefront for partners applications. We have partners application list view and banner for preview contents by partners, which can attract users for their application beforehand. And user can easily click on one of the partners application, and I can see Lark here, which brings me a great pleasure to introduce one of our strategic partners, and which will demonstrate their use cases for 10 minutes. And I'd like to introduce the CEO of Lark, Julia.
Thank you. Good job.
Good luck.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Hey again. So thanks for inviting me back, Daniel. To recap, Lark is your personal health and wellness assistant in S-Health. And I thought I'd talk a little bit more about the application. So who is Lark for? Take Sarah. She's 32, some business, busy professional. And this is what she's thinking about. Wants to be more productive, a little less stressed, fitter, healthier, thinner. Let's face it, I can see a lot of myself in Sarah. I'm sure you guys can see parts of yourself in Sarah. Sarah is really all of us. In fact, 96% of people actually who are not Olympic athletes and not really, really aggressive in their disciplinary action don't actually find benefits to just looking at data. They don't get motivated. And so she gives up just like I give up after 2 weeks of my New Year's resolution. So instead, this is how we worked with S-Health to bring health to the next level. The S-Health data is the foundation, and on top of that, we work with the best experts in the world to figure out at the right time the best thing to say to someone. And now with real-time data, that's possible. Before, you could only get snapshots of data every few days, every few weeks. But now, the possibilities of real-time engagement are incredible. So I know you guys wanted to see demos of how we utilized S-Health's SDK. So I'm going to ask Ignacio to come up. So right now, as you saw earlier in the day, we were utilizing the activity recognition. But I want to talk to you a little bit about S-Health with its multi-streams of data coming into Lark and what Lark does with that. So Lark is your personal assistant in health and wellness, and any personal assistant would talk to you with highly contextual things. So what would Lark, as your personal assistant, say to me at this moment in time to help me get healthier? So I'm going to put this down for a second and get in here. So I'm going to start with just showing you the S-Health demo. So S-Health is really a great repository of data, and I do my food logging in here. I can tap that, and I've been logging my food since I got to Barcelona. For lunch, I really had to run around, but Samsung was nice enough to have a little booth of snacks in the back. I had a very tiny little Greek salad. It was about this big. So I logged that, and it's really easy. It's just a one-click logging. So you can go in here and I can edit, but I already logged it. So it's 106 kilocalories, and keeps a data log of what I ate today. So now I can leave it, and I can ask Lark, how am I doing? So I go into Lark, and it starts talking to me. Hey again, Julia. You've really built on this morning's hot start. You're up to 41 minutes of activity now, almost 20 minutes above where you usually are by this time. And you can see my activity. Regular weekdays, I take 22 minutes of walking before now, and today I took 41. So then it asks, let's check in on your lunch, because this is right after lunch, so it's kind of normal. can I use your S-Health data? So this is not for every time, but basically all of you developers, as you're developing your applications, you will have to ask the users for access to their data. And so in this case, I have sure or no, and I'm pretty game because I think the value is there, so I'm willing to let Lark take a look at my data. And so it's pulling in the data now. So it says, the Greek salad you logged in S-Health was 106 calories. Since you were so active early today, try to eat another 200 kilocalories this afternoon. And here you see the S-Health logging coming in very simply in our application. So I'm asked to choose an option. Does it make sense, or why? So one of my goals is to stay fit and to watch what I eat and to stay thin. So I'm wondering why my Lark, which is supposed to help me keep fit and thin, is telling me to eat more. So why? Why should I eat more? So it says, you've burned almost double your usual calories today, and I don't want you to crash later in the day. And as I sit here, I'm thinking earlier when I was sitting there, I was kind of starting to get a little bit tired. So then I can choose an option. Okay, either got it, or what should I eat? I'm going to push, what should I eat? Take care of yourself and grab fruit or an energy bar in the next few hours. Talk to you soon, and keep it up. You're having an amazing day. I know. Thank you. So this is an example of how to quickly use the data streams in S-Health to create a richer recommendation engine and use case. So I think, most importantly, I want to back up and talk more about the ecosystem. Having worked with Samsung over the last half a year, we've really found that the ecosystem really helps both software developers as well as hardware developers. Are you guys, some of you are hardware developers as well? Is there some hardware developers in the room? Some of you guys. Great, so I'm going to kind of show you my perspective of the cycle. On the software developer side, as long as you can really figure out the use case that is valuable to the end user, then you're going to gain access to the end user's personal health records. If you can sell it to them, then you can get access. And if you get access, then you can really build a really compelling personalized application. That's going to lead to higher and longer engagement. And on the other hand, imagine yourself as a hardware developer. Well, some of you guys are hardware developers. So imagine your goal is to really sell a ton of hardware devices. And right now, you are building your own software experience. But if your hardware device can be opened up to other software experiences that work with your hardware device, then you're going to have broaden your market, you're going to sell more devices, and furthermore, the apps and your services will become more and more engaging. Engagement is the name of the game, and so that then brings you back to sending more and more data into this growing ecosystem of data. And that data can then be used to create even richer and richer applications. So this is the way that we see ourselves as a company in behavior change focused on taking real-time data and making meaning of it. We're looking for who provides the richest amounts of data. And we think S-Health and Samsung is a great place for connecting and collaborating. So we hope you'll join us in this open ecosystem, and thank you very much.
Okay, I'd like to wrap up with some closing remarks. As Health SDK is available from this Tuesday, you can visit the Samsung developer website, which is developer.samsung.com, which has a full of Samsung SDKs, mobile SDKs, and service SDKs. So you can find our Health SDK in there. And then you need to request for data access privilege for each API. The reason why I ask for requesting for data access privilege for APIs, because the personal health record data are very sensitive and private data. So you need to get an authorization under our screening stage. After then, you can start to develop your own application in S-Health ecosystem. Here's an S-Health ecosystem. I'd like to briefly introduce some benefits for the perspective of users and developers and partners. For users, they can easily access and manage their personal health record data in a secure manner. For the developers, using seamless data exchange, they can share the data platform based on our S-Health platform among third-party app developers. Lastly, partners such as medical facility or pharmacy company or insurance company can have opportunity to create new and innovative healthcare-related business based on our S-Health platform. So much for the talk today, and I'm really appreciative for your listening to my presentation, and please enjoy the rest of Samsung Developer Day. Thank you.